new article out in the New York Times based on the Gawker files. They found these things where Bain is actually reporting this to their own investors and internally. These are these documents, so they have to be honest so that the investors won't sue them later if it turns out they're dishonest. So it's a rare look into what tax shelters they're playing, and to the investors they brag about it. So that's why you also know that it's true. And we find out that Mitt Romney has been evading taxes. No! Okay. Now look, we know that, right? But I think the details are really interesting. First of all, Romney says, this is a quote from him, quote, "My view is I've paid all the taxes required by law." Now understand how weaselly that is. Because listen to that beginning of that sentence. My view is I've paid all the taxes required by law. Not I paid all the taxes, because then you might be able to prove he was lying. He doesn't want to say that. He knows to be lawyerly and say, my view is that I have paid all the taxes required by law, because of course he hasn't.
Right.
So let me show you how they haven't. Now this applies to Mitt Romney and Bain based on the documents, okay? So first of all, they do tax havens. Here's how they avoid taxes. Tax havens, blocker corporations. Now, look, if it's called a blocker corporation, that might be a pretty good indication that it's trying to block you from getting their money. Of course, the whole point of a blocker corporation is to be a tax shield, right? And the whole point of a tax haven is to be a tax shield, so you don't pay your taxes.
Yes.
Now, when you don't pay your taxes, that's called tax evasion, and you do time in Leavenworth, okay? When rich people like Mitt Romney don't pay their taxes, that's called a tax haven, and they're using blocker corporations. And then equity swaps. I'm going to talk to you about equity swaps in a second and how they use that. And
I'm Catholic, I can't.
No, you can't do that, okay. And number 4, management fees reported as capital gains. Now, those last two sound confusing, so let me explain. Equity swaps, of course, is yet another strategy to make sure that you don't pay your taxes. So, in fact, a Senate committee report in 2008 explained this. Let me quote the New York Times quoting that report. The major purpose of such swaps, a Senate committee report stated in 2008, is to enable non-U.S. persons to dodge payment of U.S. taxes on U.S. stock dividends. The main purpose is to dodge payments. You dodge your tax payments, you go to jail. They do fancy lawyering and accounting where, no, I'm not evading taxes. It's an equity swap, okay? They are free to go. And that's how we get screwed. By the way, when they don't pay their taxes, we've got to pick up the slack. And I've shown you graphs on this before. As corporate taxes have gone down and the rates for the top bracket has gone down, as a percentage of taxes paid, payroll tax, sky high. Who pays that? The middle class, the working guy, who pays it as a huge part of his percentage of his money. Income tax that the middle class pays goes up. And in the latest plans, what do they want to do? They want to take away your home mortgage deduction. They want to take away your child tax credit. It's a huge tax increase on the middle class while they cut taxes on the rich. Now, management fee reported as capital gains. This one could actually be illegal. In fact, of course, it is illegal. It's just that the IRS, perhaps purposely so, and we've done stories about how the Republicans have defunded the IRS because they don't want the tax cheats being caught, it is actually avoiding this. They have not given a ruling on it yet, but professors in the country, unrelated to this story, look, Greg Polsky is a tax law professor in UNC, was quoted about this in 2009, before he knew anything about Mitt Romney having any of these management fee nonsense. He said, the tax strategy is, quote, extremely aggressive, referring to this specific proposal, and subject to serious challenge by the IRS. Now, what is the strategy, so you understand? It's called a management fee. When they manage people's money, they get two kinds of different income. One is, hey, if we made an extra $1 million for you, we're going to take 10 or 15 or 20% of that for the good work that we did. Now, look, you sign up for it, no problem. Okay, if you think these guys are going to make me a ton of money and I want to pay them 15% on top, that's fine. Now, they call that carried interest and they only pay 15% on it. That's ridiculous. It's regular income. It should be recorded as regular income, but it's not. But they got a legal loophole for that, okay? Now, you should take that away, but of course the Republicans won't let you. But they also charge a different fee for managing your money. They say, I'm going to get 2% of your money even if we lose money on it. It's a management fee. It is not investment. It is not any of those things. It's like if you're a plumber or you're a dentist or you're a lawyer, you charge a fee and you pay your taxes on it. And if you're in the top bracket, you pay 35%, right? Here, they just flat out said, no, we're going to call it something else. We're going to call it capital gains. But that's not legal. That's why this guy said it is very aggressive. It should be seriously challenged because they're lying. It's like, Jimmy, like I get a salary for being a host on Current, for example. If I just went on my taxes and said, well, I don't want to pay whatever the bracket is, 25, 30, 35%, right? I want to pay 15%, so I'm going to call it capital gains. Well, they go, well, it isn't capital gains. It is an investment income. It's salary. You're busted, right?
It's my view it's capital gains.
That's exactly it. And here's another law professor, Victor Fleischer at the University of Colorado, saying, if challenged in court, Bain would lose. The Bain partners, in my opinion, misreported their income if they reported these converted fees as capital gain instead of ordinary income. It is clear as day. But their strategy, and Mitt Romney's strategy all along has been, let's avoid as much tax as we can. Let's evade as much tax as we can. Let's cheat on our taxes as much as we can. And then if we get caught later, we'll give back a pittance, right? And meanwhile, if I get caught 10 years later, 20 years later, I've collected interest on all that extra income that I never paid taxes on. And then later, what am I going to do? I'm going to do what all the rich people do. I'll settle with the IRS. And we'll negotiate, and I'll bring in my team of lawyers and say, you don't want to go to war against me. Okay, here's a little chump change for you. And meanwhile, I keep most of the spoils of my tax evasion. So if you're wondering, and I know the mainstream media, oh my God, you can't call them a tax cheat, you can't call them a tax cheat. No, there's no ands, ifs, or buts. These four, let alone the entire private equity system in Bain, is the whole profit margin is based on avoiding taxes. Let alone what he did at Marriott, where he did the son of boss scam, which was one of the biggest tax scams in history, right? You add it all up, the man is a professional tax cheat.